Alrighty, let's start today off with GBP USD. Now today we also do not have any high impact news on any of the pairs, so at least the market won't be moving way too much. You won't see major spikes or major drops, but at least there will be volume to move the market into a certain direction. Okay, so for GBP USD, I have my sell zone over here and my buy zone down below, meaning I will not be pressing any buys or sells until the price comes into my zone. Okay, I will wait for the price to come into my key levels before it forms anything, and I will wait for the setup to form a setup to be formed, right, before I press anything. Okay, the whole point is that we are not going to chase the market. We are going to wait for the market to come to us. Then we can decide if we want to risk our capital for a potential gain of profit. Okay, so current price is just tapping out of the sell zone. So what can GBP USD do? Let's just screenshot that real quick. Alright, GBP USD. If H4 still continues to respect our zone, either it can retrace back into our key level for us to look for a sell, then we can catch the sell with the market, or if the price decides to drop all the way down into our buy zone, then we will just let the price go. Okay, we will not be chasing over here. Okay, that is unnecessary risk to your account. So either we wait for the price to retrace into our key level, or we wait for the buy. Okay, if the price decides on H4 to break above our zone or below our zone, then there's a higher potential for the price to go higher and lower respectively. So in those cases, we look for the next buy and sell zones, or we wait for the price to retrace back into our key levels for the opposite direction. Okay, so what time frame do you monitor for any entries? Since we are on H4 zones, monitor M5 and M15 to find your setups. All right, next, UJ. Okay, so UJ is also just traveling, but it's very close to our sell zone over here. Then we have our buy zone down below that converted this resistance over here, or an engulfing sell. After the breaking, price came back, used it as support, and created an engulfing buy. Okay, so current price is over here. Same thing that happened to the sell zone over here. So an engulfing buy that failed. As you can see, price came back in, but didn't. Oh, yep, price came back in, tapped into the key level before creating this engulfing sell. But we cannot count this as our engulfing sell because the price did not come in and close within the zone to create the engulfing sell. Okay, so it is just an engulfing buy that failed zone for our sell zone. So current price is just traveling in the void, so we are going to wait for the price to come into either of our zones. Same thing, right? I will keep repeating. If it comes into either of our sell or buy, then we can look for the sell or buy as long as the price or the H4 does not close or break the zones. If it still respects the zone, meaning it closes within the zone, then we can look for a sell from our sell zone and a buy from our buy zone. But if it breaks above our sell, then there's a potential to go higher. If it breaks below our buy, then there's a potential to go lower. Okay, so in those cases, again, we look for the next zones, or we wait for the price to retrace back into our key level for the opposite direction. Again, SLs is something that I feel is very necessary. Okay, if you do not know where to cut loss and where to exit, please, as soon as you enter, set your TP and SL. And my usual suggestion is 40 pips from entry for your SL, as it is not too tight nor too loose, and it gives the price a bit of movement to move around before going the direction that you want. Okay, last but not least, USD CAD, but that doesn't mean SL has to be 40. Okay, just putting that out there. If you can refine it down to make it tighter, then go for it. But just saying that in some times or some other times the market can touch your SL before going, so that's why it can be a bit too tight. So 40 pips is something that I suggest. Next, USD CAD, I have two buy zones over here. It was a recent breakout of this, which was an engulfing sell that failed. Okay, so this is a fresh engulfing failed zone for my first buy zone. Then my second buy will be down here. My top sell or my only sell zone is just here. So the current price is in the middle. So what do? We wait for the price to come into either of our zones. Since all of the pairs that I am giving, these are the majority that you guys have voted, are crossed with USD pairs, you can scalp during the Euro session, maybe for 20 to 40 pips, even 60 if the volume allows it, depending on the pairs. But there will not be much volume compared to the US session. Okay, so if the price does not come into any of the zones until the US session, do not fret. Okay, because it's crossed with USD, there will be more effect in the US session. Okay, so again, we'll wait for the price to come into any of our zones. If H4 still respects our zones, then we can look for our buys and sells. But if it breaks our zone, meaning the candle closes out of the zones, breaking the zones, it should not close above our sell and it should not close below our buy. But if it decides to do that and break our zones, then there's a potential for the price to go higher and lower respectively. Okay, TP is something that can be subjective depending on how tolerant you are to the market. If you're comfortable with 10, 20, 30 because 20, 40, 60 makes you anxious, then stick to 10, 20, and 30. Okay, set realistic goals, set a realistic daily target profit, and a daily maximum of a drawdown. If you can do that, just stick to the plan and slowly grow your account steadily and slowly. Okay, there's no need to rush. Of course, there's sometimes that you can see people maxing out their account, flipping 100 to 200% in one trade. If you are not willing to do that, if you're not willing to take the losses, then stick to your original plan. Okay, there is no rush in the market and there is no competition other than yourself. Okay, so that's it for the 3 pairs. Please trade smart, trade wisely, do not rush into any trade, and I will get back to checking your mappings. Bye.